Hi everyone, it's me JS4 and today I'm bringing you a really unusual video for me because I don't often do contemporary review style videos. It's been a bit of a while actually before I don't even know, considered doing my kind of like regular updates. I know if you guys are new to my channel, I actually started off in 2007 online and it's been a bit of a wild roller coaster where I've had so much success quite early on, and then in 2015 I was signed with a big company and then I kind of decided it wasn't quite right for me. I didn't really feel like the way that social media was developing more into a place for industry to kind of use it as a marketing tool. I didn't like that direction. I was not comfortable going forwards. So what I wanted to do in 2015 and 16 is work on moving behind the scenes and start developing a lot of products. It made more sense for me to actually take a backseat. What I was experiencing, which I've actually just did an article with Vogue UK about, is the culture online actually has started to change. It was honestly just an outlet for me and the people like me that I kind of came up with to work in a safe place, I guess you would say. Now, what I saw happen was people started to become viral, and viral kind of marketing became a thing. People would be working on Vine and doing kind of like comedic videos on Vine, and they weren't getting money from the just plays. So they moved from Instagram and Vine to YouTube, and the people that started off on the platform that was just doing content, but they weren't necessarily someone that you would see in the street every day. They were maybe a little bit unrelatable. Those were the people that kind of got shafted to the side. The reason for this is because management companies were involved with the people that came onto the platform and they wanted to have more of a relatable business. So if you look like the person you're watching or you have more in common with the person you're watching, you're more likely to buy things from them. The motivating factor was to go viral, and then from that viral attention, any attention's good, then we'll sell product. Even when I went to BeautyCon Dallas 2015, can't remember where I went. The first one I think was 2015. It felt like there wasn't a fair game anymore. The way it kind of worked before is if you were looking for a makeup tip, someone would do a specific type of makeup, like the eyebrow tutorial, and it doesn't matter that you were this kind of person or you had this type of person interested in you. It was based on what content you produced. So people would be able to find you because they were looking for eyebrows, and they would stumble upon someone that they weren't expecting and they build a relationship with that person. And I thought it was more of an honest way of doing it. For me, I've never even had an ambition to be known for doing YouTube. The truth of the matter is, I was always fearful of being known as being a social media influencer because I had a bit of a stigma from when I originally started. I was really heavily into this kind of master plan of just trudging along, getting through the social media thing and having that as like my back burning job whilst I was planning all the other stuff that I do behind the scenes, developing products and all that kind of jazz. So it's hard for me to kind of get on board with what's been going on since 2015 because it's not the same environment that I was used to. I don't think it's a healthy environment. I think the people that have been given the biggest visibility have been given it because they are more marketable to people. I don't necessarily see anyone that's outstanding when it comes to talent, and quite often what I've seen is a recreation of other people's work done by someone that's more relatable. I also just did an interview with the BBC about this. So I can't really integrate with this new kind of system because since 2015, there has been this whole bombardment of online brands. Some of these brands are really good. Some of them started off as I would describe as an Alibaba brand, which it would be, I could recognize where they would get their stocks from basically. So I would know which particular unit they were inspired by, which platform they were originally selling on, all these kinds of stuff, because especially with some of the units when I first started on my channel, I began to make brushes with a German company, then I worked with a Chinese company, then I worked with a Japanese company, and you may have seen I did a video with James & James where I was actually about to release all my brush line, and I actually made them with the same people that did Wayne Goss's brushes. So they were really expensive, high quality brushes. They cost a lot to make, and I was all ready to go, and the environment just changed, and I thought, you know what, this is not going to be worthwhile for me to do. This is going to be something that I need to take a step back from, watch what's going to go on, because I knew that they were going to start imploding and the audience would see the motivation behind it was to be famous. It wasn't to be artistic and to create something innovative or original. It was to get attention. And people are very smart. They can see immediately if that's the kind of outcome that they want. So I really have been observing in the background and taking a real big kind of backseat with this, and I'm very fortunate to have been working with a new brand called Jecca. Jecca Black has just been the relaunch as of yesterday. Anyway, I'm not going to go into this too much because there is going to be a press release. We're going actually to all the UK publication houses, and we're going to be discussing this in March, so I can't give you too much away yet. But I have been working very hard on this, and I thought, do you know what, this is going to be the time for me to come back into it. So what I've seen in the last few years has been there are a few standout people that are making good money, and they actually have the ability to generate an income that is a fabulous income. Very few. I don't really get it. I don't really get why people buy into it. And I think that most people rely on the views and to get as many views as they can by being as controversial as they can because the algorithm rewards it. So it's just been very bizarre to me. I've got to be totally honest with this. Morphe is a brand that I think has been hugely it's the products that they do are things that I've seen that anyone could produce. They're not an innovative type of brand. They're just the brushes that they produce, the eyeshadows they produce, the collaborations they've done has been bumping the price point up on products that I think are so easy to get on the market. I've been sent hundreds of their palettes, the blushes, the eyeshadows, many of the brushes. I think I was offered a voucher code at first. This is back in 2015. I've never really advertised it with you guys. I mean, I really was that artist that would use anything. I would use something that I would get in a pound store, or I would use something that I got in high end from Shoe and Mirror. I remember one of the brushes I used to use that I was quite known for using was actually made of some sort of sable that was like £170. But I would still use the cheapest end of the range, if you will. So I can't understand how so many people are able to sell these products with fair conscience, but they know that they're so cheap. I mean, the markup from the brushes that Morphe do, for example, it's just insane. I don't get it. I don't understand why people want to kind of sell you guys down the river over cheap products. I mean, if you're a talented artist, you can make anything work to your favour, but that's not recommending you a great product. I especially find it hard when people recommend skincare. You cannot give recommendations on skincare without a fair 6 weeks to really test the waters. You don't know how it's going to react over time. You don't know if it's going to make your skin purge. You don't know how it's going to change the rate of desquamation in your skin. There's so much to it that I could go into. So I haven't really advocated for the brand. And I think the recent launch has been kind of an unusual one for me because I was sent these by my friend a while ago. And these are literally, they cost probably about 99 cents to make. How can they be selling these products with the exact same handle and they have the markup at that extortionate price? I think it's absolutely outrageous. If you really want to look at high quality brushes, you really need to do your research because some of them are made with a thing called capra fibers. What you should see in a high quality brush is you should see the actual real tip of the hair because it's more refined and domed. What they do to make things cheaper is they actually cut that up into 3 pieces and they use blunt tips with the dome tips. And that's why so many brushes are much cheaper. The higher quality the brush is, the more they taper the ends of the particular bristles, the more they combine the bristles. The glue is actually very different if you're using synthetic fibers in the brush versus if you're using natural fibers. And again, if you're a talented artist, you can make anything work. There's no special recipe or special coordination with the brush that makes it spectacular. If you're great at makeup, you can use a paintbrush that costs nothing. So I find this whole kind of realm a little bit crazy because I do think you guys are being sold through false pretenses. And there are definitely brushes by Morphe that I think are really cool. Like I use this one all the time. What's this one called? The M520. I love this for cutting off the nose. I use this one quite a lot, the E1 brush, because I like it. It's almost like a powder puff. It has a flat surface to it. So I'm not having one of these videos that's ever going to be about drama or bashing anyone, even though I could, but I'm not going to go into that route at all. I just believe in being positive and polite. But these are just so extortionately priced for what they are worth that I think it's just ridiculous to say anything other. One of the brushes I use pretty much all the time is actually this paintbrush right here. This is exactly the same manufacturing process that goes into a concealer brush. It's made of synthetic fibres. They're mostly nylon. What can I say? Like, a lot of this is just a lot of hoopla, and I really want you guys to be conscious when you're buying this stuff that you're really paying for almost like they're advertising, and it's nothing to do with the quality of the product. And I could sit here and I could keep on reviewing things and keep on pointing out where they were made, what they were done by, what they were designed for, how much this person got, because I can find out all the tea. I think it's better for you guys to know more about the truth of the situation and to know more about how this stuff is orchestrated, because this has been such a weird dynamic for people that are truly creative. I just don't see enough people sticking up for themselves and to say, like, this shouldn't probably have happened like this. There shouldn't have been so much corporate involvement behind the scenes, and there should have been more people rewarded for great content. I mean, it shouldn't even factor into the way you're searchable. If you've had an argument with another brand and you've done a video dialogue with another brand, why should drama channels exist at all, for that matter? Why should they be able to ride on other people's videos? I think it's just a toxic environment for so many people, and I really want you guys to just think about things in more of a positive way, and to think about makeup like an art form, like something that you can make anything out of. If you don't have millions of pounds in the bank, you can still create beautiful products. I don't think that it's been healthy, and I've been so happy that I have taken a back step to this, because there needs to be a new wave of people that come onto the platform that are doing this because they're artists, not because they have an ambition to be famous, not because they want to get money from working from home, but because they truly are an artist. And we need to see more people that are talking about products as raw ingredients. Like, what is this? How does this work? Why are we assessing palettes like they're some sort of mythical artifact when they're just a pigment? You can mix a pigment with another product and get an eyeliner if you know what you're doing. You can do anything. It should be about creativity, and it's not anymore. So I guess I don't think this is going to be too much of a controversial video to do, because I think everyone's been thinking the same thing for a while now. But I wanted someone like me to come back and say this, because I think I have a little bit more weight behind me now that I've been doing a lot of this press, and I'm really grateful for Fast Company, for Forbes, for Vogue Russia, for Vogue China, and obviously the BBC for actually talking about this a little bit more, because I have been speaking openly about how I think we need to see more diversity, more equality, whether it's ethnicity, whether it's gender identity. It shouldn't just be about a one-off marketing campaign where you put someone that's gone viral in an online advert. It should be people that have the qualifications to do the job. It shouldn't factor in what they've done online. They should be talented enough or disciplined enough to actually earn the right to do the job. That would be true inclusivity. Just sticking someone in there that's gone viral from a meme is not giving anyone even. And do you know what the worst thing is? You are giving these people a false sense of accomplishment, because they don't have the merit to justify the visibility. And it's very difficult for me, because I'm like the little kid in the Emperor's New Clothes that's pointing out that the bitch ain't wearing anything. But you have to really it's got to be moving into an area where we actually have to start telling the truth now. Because we've had a few years now in the UK and the US of crazy politics where people are lying through their teeth. We need to now speak the truth, and it should come from the ground up, really, in all areas, in all factors. So think about makeup more in a creative way. If you don't have the budget to buy a brand new palette that costs £110 or whatever these new branded palettes cost, get one from the goddamn pound store and grind it up. Rebuild the product from scratch. Get a little pot. Mix it with a different colour. If you have a foundation that you love but it doesn't come in your colour, mix it. It doesn't, like, what are we doing? I've seen so many videos in the last few years about skin tone matching, and I'm like, do you really think anyone has got the same skin tone as a foundation colour, for God's sake? Every part of your skin's a different colour, for God's sake. It's not... And I'm not talking about the inclusivity of shade ranges. I'm talking about the fact that no one's skin is one colour. We're not eggs. It just has become a little bit crazy. So I hope you guys like that video. It was a bit of a ranty one, but it was coming from a place of wow, this is going crazy. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing some more videos because I have got a lot of this release coming soon. I've also been so busy behind the scenes with the Baron, and you guys may have been following my updates on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't really use Instagram. I think Instagram's kind of like a platform for dissolvable content. It doesn't really hold much weight. People kind of scroll through things so quickly that it doesn't give me much. I don't feel as good about doing content there because I wanted to create a how-to book you could always go back to, and I don't think it's that type of platform. So there you go. All right, guys, I will see you all in my next video. Take care. Love to all, but that's the tea. See you soon.